Good morning and welcome to an all-new Eye of the Tiger. I'm Nate Wynn.
And I'm Austin Daly.
The AP Comparative Government class was passed at the Tuesday night school board meeting.
Allows me this amazing opportunity to integrate other government systems into the existing US Gov content so that not only are students reaffirmed and strengthened in their knowledge of the US content by way of having something to compare it to, but then also they'll get prepared to take another AP test, if they so choose, of course. Solves a problem that has been evident for the past 2 years, wherein AP Gov students, they're taking the class for the 18 weeks, but for only 1 quarter for 9 of those weeks are they getting AP Gov credit. And that's because AP US Gov is a non-repeatable 5-credit course. So we couldn't make it repeatable, but then this was a way to not only solve that problem, to then allow quarter 1 to be AP US Gov, quarter 2 to be AP Comp Gov, and therefore you get both quarters as weighted credit.
I think it's a better alternative than the AP Gov and like the whole issue that the seniors had. So I think this is better than just taking regular Gov too.
This will affect juniors sign up for the AP Government and AP Econ class for the 2017 and 2018 school year.
Local scholarships were due on February 28th, and the class of 2017 broke the record for applications submitted. The class of 2016 had a total of 1,487 applications, while the class of 2017 turned in 11% more with a total of 1,665. The class of 2017 also managed to break the procrastination record with 1,071 applications turned in on the last day.
We now go to Jason Russell for sports.
Good morning and welcome to an all-new edition of EOTSN. I'm Jason Russell. Last Wednesday, the girls' varsity soccer team played in the Sac Joaquin Section Division II semifinals against Granite Bay High School at Granite Bay. Here's what happened during the game. Roseville came into the game ranked as the 10th seed, while Granite Bay was ranked as the 3rd seed. Roseville dominated the entire game with the final score of 3-0. As for the players after the game, it was all smiles as they punched their ticket to the Sac Joaquin Section Division II championship game.
You go first. We're very excited to go to the championships. We haven't been since 2010, and that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I thought it was cool that we got to, first of all, we got here into the semis, and also that we were able to win it because that's better than we did last year, and that's always our goal, to do better than last year.
I think we just dominated completely, and it was everybody put in their full effort, 100%, and I couldn't be more proud of this team right now. We've worked so hard, and honestly, we came in as the underdogs, and I'm so happy with our outcome right now.
Roseville had scored 6 goals in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, including a game in which they scored 5 goals. Granite Bay, on the other hand, had not given up a single goal in the entire postseason. Something had to give, and it was Granite Bay's defense.
Especially their defense. They've had a very strong defense always. And so I knew that was going to be a tough game all around. They're a great team, great opponent. So I knew it was going to be a tough one going in, but hey, we pulled out and it was great.
Roseville kept attacking all night long, including these 2 plays here from Allison Palmer and then the pass from Palmer to Jessica Vanderhagen. Despite those 2 plays not resulting in goals, eventually they scored 3 times throughout the game, and this one here was their 3rd and perhaps the most impressive goal of the game. All of Roseville's goals came from the Gill sisters, as Mackenzie Gill scored 2 in the first half and her sister tacked on another one in the second half. The championship game will be played on Saturday at 4:00 p.m. at Elk Grove High School against CVC rival Whitney. They split the season series with Whitney this year. The championship game should be very entertaining and very competitive. And that's it on your home for Roseville High School sports, top plays, breakdowns, and more. Eye of the Tiger Sports Network, EOTSN. Now we go to entertainment.
Thanks, Josh. Last week, comedian Jordan Peele made his directorial debut with his horror comedy, Get Out. You may know Jordan Peele from the comedy sketch duo Key and Peele. You know, those guys behind that substitute teacher sketch that you and your friends are still quoting. Yeah, that guy. And with this being his very first film he's written and directed, I have to say he pulled this off near flawlessly. The story follows a young man named Chris in an interracial relationship about to meet his white girlfriend's parents for the first time. However, her parents don't know he's black, which makes him a bit uncomfortable. All seems to be going fine until Chris begins noticing things are not quite right about the family. This makes for an excellent psychological horror where you, as the audience member, are trying to find out what's wrong with this family along with the main character. All the hype around this movie is absolutely deserved, and yes, it is that good. It brings such a fresh storyline to the horror thriller genre, especially because the only scary thing about this movie is racism itself. There's a definite satire element in this film. For instance, when the dad keeps telling Chris that he would have voted for Obama for a third term, as if he's trying way too hard to prove that he isn't racist. And that kind of stuff happens a lot throughout the beginning of the movie. All the white people around Chris are trying to connect with him, and it's super cringy and really awkward because it's not far off from the truth at all. And that's what the movie does really well. It treads light on the truth about bigger picture of racism and comments on it in a way that makes you really get it and understand how someone might feel in a situation like that. And I think this film is going to be a huge conversation starter. Aside from that, my favorite part of this film is Chris's best friend Rod. He acts as essentially the point of view of an audience member the entire time, yelling at Chris to get out of the house, warning him about his choices, and questioning what he does. He's basically the equivalent of an audience member yelling at their TV during a movie. The actor Lil Rel Howery does this really well in a way that breaks up the pacing from a film that gives you a break from squirming in your seat. I highly recommend you check this film out, especially because I'm absolutely sure that it's a new horror classic. Now we go back to news.
Thanks, Sophie. This week, Peer Helping has been practicing the 5 languages of love. This includes an assembly, positive messages around campus, and hugs.
Love Week is about showing like your peers and like people at this school, like in particular, like how to love others and like showing that like people do love you, like because a lot of people like something that a lot of people struggle with like in high school is depression and stuff like that. So like we're trying to show people like we do care about you, we do love you, and like there's ways to show love to people. This project serves as the midterm for Peer Helpers. And that's it for us today in Eye the Tiger.
And remember, we're always on at eyetigernews.com. See you next time.